But let's start with that USC-Oregon result. Oregon wins 42-27. The way that I'm going to set you up here is it felt like this was like Oregon being like, hey, this is what Oregon does.
Mm-hmm.
And USC, you still got all the same problems that these last couple USC teams have had.
Yeah, and to start on the Oregon side of it, like there was that question, I think, for many people who've watched them where it's like, okay, you played tight with Penn State, and Penn State's certainly talented, like not a very good football team this year. And then they had the home loss to Indiana, which, again, all of us believe Indiana's a really good football team, but you lose at home. That's a place where people typically just don't go in and win. And it was a question of, are you going to prove that you're a team that actually belongs in the playoffs? Like a lot of us were.
Right, it wasn't really their fault that the schedule worked out this way, right? That the Penn State game became not something to hang your resume on.
Not at all, but at that point, they didn't have anything to hang their resume on. It's not their fault, but that's just the way it was. And this was one of those games where they went out there. Certainly USC had their moments moving the football. We expect that from them.
Is awesome.
Yeah, he's great. Like Maava, when he's kept clean and he's able to go through a progression, he's really good. But Oregon's like, listen, we're going to be able to run the football. We're going to be able to stop the run game, and we're going to be able to throw the football down the field too with our great quarterback and a couple of our really good weapons while we don't even have our full complement. And I think that's what a lot of us were waiting to see. Like, this is a performance where you say, we're comfortable with that team being in the playoff.
Yes, and now they have the big win on their resume. And, like they did a lot of stuff that was really interesting, right? We came into the game talking about the way that USC's offense is explosive and all the different things that they do. And they still got a lot of those plays in there, right? You saw Mekhi Lemon throw a touchdown.
Crazy.
Like, we saw a lot. But, you still had Oregon and Bryce Betcher gets a touchdown. They were doing it with special teams.
Right.
Like, everything was kind of pulling in that same direction for them. And, yes, now they have the signature win. I think that because that win is still, by the committee rankings, below or Oklahoma's best win, I think they're going to stay behind them in the rankings. And that's probably right. It's still in position to host a game at Autzen, which would be awesome. So I feel like Oregon is now very clearly in with a win over Washington next week, and they'll host.
Yes, that's where I'm at. Like, this is the handle business, and you should be in the playoff field. And I think a lot of people now are saying, how dangerous do we believe Oregon to be after watching what they did? Now, there is this flip side of it where USC, like, I was really starting to turn a corner with them, and I'm like, maybe.
Also, wait, I just need to correct myself. Ole Miss's best win is Oklahoma.
Yes.
That's the team they're right behind, and I think it'll stay Ole Miss and then Oregon.
Yes,
okay.
I picked up what you were saying, but 100% there. But to get back to the USC thing, it felt like they were starting to build in a direction that you could rely on. We saw what they did with Michigan early on the year. They had the Nebraska win, which was like really good one for them. They had Iowa, which they had to come back. The weather was not nice. And you're like, okay, maybe this team's finding a little bit of a different gear and a little bit of a different grit. And the old problems started to pop up. Their defense had no answers for what Oregon wanted to do in the run game or the pass game, really. And that's been the Achilles heel for a Lincoln Riley team, is your biggest games, especially if you got to go on the road, your defense just doesn't show up. And they've got to find a way to get just a couple more stops. And if they do, it's a team that you look at and say, all right, they're a little bit more dangerous.
No, I agree completely. And that's where, like you said, you saw them taking some steps, right? And they did win a game on the road at Nebraska. They did come back and fought through and won at Iowa. And you could tell Lincoln Riley feels better about like this team and its mental toughness, but physical toughness
and I
too,
think
right?
we generally do feel better.
Yeah.
But it's not where we thought it could be.
Correct. Like if they win this game, they're probably in the college football playoff. And we talk about a big step that they're taking under Lincoln Riley. And instead, familiar foe, Pac-12, now Big Ten rival, ultimately is the one that knocks them out.